Hello there! Welcome back to another video! This week I'm going to be doing another sketchbook tour! So this one was, I think, between, the New Year start of 2018 and I think February, the end of February. So this took me 2 months to finish, but I have something to say about this sketchbook before we crack on into it, is that I did not like this sketchbook. And it's not the stuff that's in it that's the problem, it's the paper that's the problem. Because this paper, I got it on a discount, I think at Walmart, but this paper is like very, like, parchmenty. It's like very fragile paper, so you can't really erase too much on it, or it will like break away, and you can't really, like, a lot of the times my mechanical pencil would just like stab into the paper and get stuck, and that it would tear a little bit. So yeah, I really didn't like the sketchbook, which is mainly why I finished it so quickly, because I just didn't like it, so I didn't put too much time into any single page. So this was the first page that I did. It was an ink drawing of my character Zeke. I was trying to maybe think about trying to do this whole page in just inks, but when I saw how much, like, it's just regular inks, but I could still see the bleeding, I realized that, yeah, no, this sketchbook's going to be a lot of trouble. So here I'm just doing some more gesture drawings because I can't really get out of the habit, and it's actually a lot of fun, and I really like how these pages turn out. Here I was just in the cafeteria at school. Here I think I was in class and I was trying to pay attention, but also not really. I kind of liked how this turned out. These are Prismacolor Cool Erase pencils. So I started carrying around some of those because I found that my mechanical pencil hated this paper, but cool erasers were okay, and ballpoint pens were okay as well. And here's more cool erase. I think I also only do these in class, and here's some more gesture. I was trying to do some like perspective and foreshortening type things that I wasn't too sure it worked out. I really like the way that this turned out. I'm not sure how I did it because I'm pretty sure this is mechanical pencil, and yeah, the mechanical pencil doesn't get along with this, but it's fine. I like these eyes. The rest of this is kind of alright. This I didn't really like the way his forehead turned out, and his head's all around too big, I think. But it's still, fun. I changed colour of my core erase from a blue to a green, and I bought some markers in the student store. So these were, I think, Prismacolor alcohol markers. So I got a purple and a green to try to do something with, and they bleed. So my secret intention with this was, if I get markers that bleed, I'll only have to use half the pages. So that was my intention. Here's just a guy sitting down, kind of sad. Here's some poses. I ended up getting some grey markers, because I have grey markers, but they're my Copics, and I kind of don't want to waste my Copic ink in this like not so good sketchbook. So I bought some cheaper mid-tone greys, and I started using that so they could bleed. I was rewatching that collab that Drawer Jassa did with Bailey J, and kind of redrew a similar pose as the lines that Jazza gave Bailey, but it was again really quick and with marker, so I wouldn't have to use the other side of the page. Some red ballpoint pen. I was in class and just doodling while I was trying to pay attention and not really. One of my friends asked for beach surfer guy, so he's beach surfer guy, and here I was trying to like do something a little bit more geometric, not so many characters, again with a red ballpoint pen. Some face angle practices, Zeke again. I think this might be my favorite drawing in the whole sketchbook. I drew Zeke in the first page, and then here again, but here I did it in, I think, I got a Pilot pen. Yeah, it's not a high-tech Z Pilot pen, but I got a really cheap Pilot pen from the student store, along with another marker probably. And again, bleeding, so I have to use the other side. This one again was mainly for bleeding, so I wouldn't have to use the other side. Again, I like how this sketch turned out, but I really like that it bled, so I wouldn't have to use the other side. Here are some song lyrics. Rest of the song, I was really just trying to use as many pages as quickly as possible in the sketchbook because I couldn't wait to get rid of it. Like, in hindsight, if you start a sketchbook and you really can't stand the paper, just throw out the sketchbook. But I was actually kind of happy with how this first drawing came out, so I thought I would, stick it through. And so here's just some Japanese practice. Here's a pose I saw on Pinterest that I copied. Here's another pose I saw on Pinterest that I copied. I was on the phone with my friend, and so I drew this while we were just chatting, which I kind of like how it turned out. I think this was again with the Pilot pen. And I used really light marker, but I used marker so it bled through, so I won't use this On the bus, I saw this guy that was like, he had so much jewelry and he had like the most expensive type of gear, and he just kind of looked really cool. So I tried to draw him, but I didn't really capture his aesthetic here. This was again during class. I was just doodling with marker, so it blurred out. I wouldn't have to use the other side. My friend was talking about having an upright base for a tattoo or something, so I tried to sketch it, but I didn't use a reference. It doesn't look good. And here I used a reference. It looks a little bit better. This is my original character, Rowan, and I used a different kind of, because I got this one pen, and I thought it was a paint marker, and I thought it was a white paint marker, but it turned out to be a black paint marker. And I really didn't like it, because it's one of those ones where you have to like press down the pen for the ink to kind of release, and it's really pungent. It smells really intense, and I don't like it. So I was just trying to throw most of that marker in the sketchbook, because put two things I don't like together. Again with that same marker, this was supposed to be sort of an older looking Edward Elric, is what I was imagining from Fullmetal Alchemist. And again, marker so it bleeds. This, I was trying to do the entire line art with that marker that I didn't like, and this was just the pose that a friend of mine was sitting in class, I think. This was kind of cool. It was ballpoint pen. I really like the way that this hair came out. The head angle's alright, like it could be better. I had a tummy ache when I was in class, so I just drew a little thing of me having a tummy ache. I think I was explaining to someone how you can go from a stick figure to an actual, posture. Here's the guy from the bus from back here. This captures his a lot more because he's actually really skinny, and his clothes were baggy, but you still could see how skinny he was. And yeah, so that was my second attempt at this making the bus. More head angle practices. I really kind of like the flow of this, even though his arms are kind of broken, and I really like just the overall mood of like hair, half of your face, which is very some of it. I really like that. Here is another figure practice of a guy playing football, and I just rendered it a bit more because I was bored, and that was how someone was sitting in class. And I did a little bit of highlighter figure drawing just to see if I could, and then I wrote a K and an 8, and I saw that it kind of looked like someone who had big circle eyes and then bandages for a mouth, so I drew that here. And here I started doing some simplified chibis because they don't take too much brain power, and then I get to do this big geometric shape in the background of that marker that I really don't like to make it pop, and I really, really, really like how this looks. This is my character Talia. Here I was trying to figure out my logo again. Another simplified chibi of my character Rowan, and there I used the marker that I didn't like just to make the contrast in his hair a bit more prominent. Another simplified chibi because again the last two turned out so well, of my character Crone. This was just a random pose that I think I just drew, not really thinking about it. I tried to draw a cat again and it didn't turn out again. I think I was on the train when I drew this, so I just decided to draw a face just to pass the time. And yeah, I kind of really like the way that the shading turned out with the marker that I had, and I really like shading the upper lip and her expression. Really like this, and then it bled through. So I tried to draw a dog. I'm not good at drawing dogs. Back with the green and purple markers that I bought like earlier on in the sketchbook, I bought them but I didn't use them, so I started using them. So here's my character Aries, and it bleeds, so I don't have to use it again. My character Zeke again. I think this is the third time Zeke's in here because I got the green marker, and then I used the yellow highlighter, but it looks more green than yellow. And it bleeds, so I don't have to use this on the page. This guy here, I really like. I was trying to go for a bird's eye view perspective on him, and again using markers, so I don't have to use this page. Here I bought a pack of, for like $2. I bought a pack of, I think there's 8 ballpoint pens of different colors. So this had this like light blue ballpoint pen that I started sketching in, and the purple marker so that I would have something that bleeds, so I don't have to use this side. Here I was trying to draw Dylan O'Brien with the blue ballpoint pen, but yeah, more markers so I don't have to use the other side. Here I had some Sharpies lying around in my pencil case, so I was trying to do some texture things along with like I just fight on the floor trying to reach for something really scribbly sketch, and the Sharpie bleeds. So I was again with my purple coal erase, and I found, I think, a pose on Pinterest that I copied. And here's the start where I decided, yo, if I do really big, really fast gesture drawings, and if you remember, like, I think, yeah, these are the sizes of gesture drawings. They're about the size of my thumb, maybe a bit larger. That's typically the size that I've done in like all my other sketchbooks. When I had the biggest sketchbook, I probably did them a bit larger, but like this is about the size that I make my gesture drawings. But like it takes a while to do like 5 gestures, 4 gestures on a page. But if I do 1 or 2 per page, it goes way faster. So I decided to do like blown up size gesture drawings just to try to get through this sketchbook faster. But I'm going to talk about this in a bit. So again, like just I was on Pinterest mainly, and I was in class mainly, like on my phone, on my lap on Pinterest, just finding poses to draw. This wasn't references, and these were just, I think, more Pinterest drawings. This one was definitely Pinterest. I can't remember if this one was, but trying to make it full size, Pinterest and ballpoint pen. And the thing that I did not notice that was helpful about doing these was that because they're larger than the gestures that I typically drew, I actually got to see more of the information. Like in a small gesture, for example, this one muscle that goes in your forearm, it's like from your elbow to your forearm, you have a muscle that sticks out and creates this shape. It's not just kind of straight, it's not a cylinder. There's a kind of actual shape that's distinct. When you have the smaller gesture drawings, you don't really see that so much. But when I was blowing them up, I actually started getting a couple more details inside my gestures I would have otherwise gotten if I just kept using more of them but smaller. This was just a random thing in class, I think, and I was using the green marker to have a bleed. Just this expression that I was really like not focusing on this. Oh, here's a little chibi sketch I did of my friend Saf's character Wahid that I ended up coloring in Photoshop and sending to her. These were some, I think, your character he's that were like coupley, so I decided to draw them to learn, and then more Pinterest or whatever kind of full page references just to get past. And I think I did a lot of them in this one sitting. I didn't like this one, I put an X on it. I did like this one. I don't like these two, but this little face is kind of funny. This one's pretty cool, this one's really cool. I really like the shape that I did for this hand. I feel like the foreshortening could be better on this one, but I kind of like the mood in this one. This torso is too wide, but like it's got an interesting stance to it. I kind of really do like this one. It's really scribbly and messy, and I had like a white crayon that I used to try to cover things up to make it, but I didn't really show up too much. I don't know if it's because of the tooth of the paper or the crayon's really cheap, but more coupley type poses that are based off things I saw on Pinterest to just try to learn. And this was actually so helpful after everything. I think I like these, and these were really helpful for learning anatomy. Like, and I didn't notice at the time, but I really notice it now, months later, because at the time I was just really desperate to finish the sketchbook, and this was a quick way to do it, but I didn't really notice how much learning happened while I was doing these. And this I did the same one twice because this one was alright but not detailed enough, so I did it again. And this is when I actually started filling in toes, and that made things so much easier for me, because now I draw a lot of feet, and it's alright. More coupley things complicated. Sometimes the scribbles are kind of hard to understand, but it was still like super valuable for me learning. And I really recommend, you know, it wastes a lot of paper, but that was kind of my intention. But I really do recommend something like this. And here they started getting simpler, but still having like the shapes that are good for, like you can see the swelling of the arm here I mentioned before. They got simpler, but I was just getting further understanding of it, and it was again a really quick kind of deal. I didn't spend more than 5 minutes on each page. So again, I got the pages, so I filled in the pages quickly, and I ended up learning a lot. So yeah, I did end up liking this one because it just didn't fit the reference, like the proportions were really off. This is my friend Dark Petal 16 character Rose. I was really happy, and this is Dark Petal 16's character Mortem. And again, marker so that it bleeds. And here I was finally swatching out those colourful ballpoint pens that I bought real cheap, so I could start using them more. So, switching colour. And I kept myself entertained because I did like black ones. So here's black ones, here's green ones, and now we're doing pink ones. And back to green ones. This one turned out really good, I like that. And these are back with reference, even though this one didn't have the kind of mood, so I had to put an X on it. I was just trying to see how far I could push the ballpoint pen for colouring. So I use orange for sketch lines, brown, black, and all that kind of stuff. It's interesting. These here, I did while I was on a trip in England. So this was actually based on a route that I saw in England, and I got sick a couple of the days. These are some of the sketches that my friends left me in there. This is actually one of the friends that was in England with, so I drew her twice over, I think. A couple more. There was an armor that I liked. Oh yeah, we were at the museum. We were at the Victorian Albert Museum, and I saw some kind of jewelry things that I wanted to try to draw. And when I was in the Warner Brothers Harry Potter exhibit, they had these stamp things, so I stamped a bunch of, like, this is the Dark Mark kind of thing. So I stamped in, like, the Hogwarts crest. So that was one good thing that I had this sketchbook for. And there was still quite a few pages left, but I'm in the habit of always leave some pages blank at the end of your sketchbook, so that if you want, you can go back. When you go back through it, you can, like, draw something as you currently draw, and then you get to see your growth. But I don't think I'm ever going to draw in this thing again. Not gonna lie, I really hated this paper. I really, really, really hated this paper. But it also, like, I decided to, like, retire it as soon as I got back from my vacation to England, even though I only drew, like, a couple very small things in England. I still, like, decided to retire it then. But yeah, this is a sketchbook that I kept from January to the end of February in 2018, so this year. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to check the link in the card for my other sketchbook tours. And yeah, I make a new video every Friday, and I'll see you next week.